You know what sets you apart from the most successful creators on YouTube? It's all about telling good stories. And the secret to good storytelling is suspense. But there's a really good chance that even if you know this, you're still missing the mark. You can't just say, this is suspenseful in your story and have that be enough. You've got to really show it. People have to feel it. To do this, you have to build it up with the shots that you take in your video. You can really lean into it in the story, which means while you're filming, you've got to accentuate the suspenseful things. If in your video, the idea is that time is running out, we need visual cues that show the time is running out. And no, a ticking alarm clock B-roll is probably not quite what we're going for, especially not for Edgar. See, this is Edgar. Edgar is one of you. He watches this channel and we're trying to help him make his content much more successful. And one of the things we told him is that you need challenges to really come through in your videos. So he put in the extra work and he really challenged himself in this recent video. But it didn't really come through all the way. I feel like we've been watching him cut wood for a long time. We're gonna have to figure this out. We still ended up with a lot of scenes that just felt kind of slow and that didn't build suspense. I'm gonna show you how to take some of the most boring scenes from your videos and make them suspenseful. And here's a hint. It's not just about getting more shots and more camera angles. I've got a really good plan that I think is gonna really illustrate this for Edgar and for you. So now we gotta go get Julia so I can explain this plan to her.
Hey, Julia. I know what we need to do. We need to cut down a tree.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so I think I have a concept for how we could keep the story really moving forward visually instead of just like he did with just cutting.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be substantially shorter. I think it just needs to have a good progression throughout. And I think I know how he could have done it, but we've never done a channel like this. So I think we're gonna have to go try to recreate it.
Okay. Do you have an idea of the shots you want to get?
I do. Do you want to hear those now? Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. You get an establishing shot like he had. We're cutting. But what's the feeling behind this? What's the challenge? We know he's running out of time. It's gonna be dark soon. He's got to get the shelter built and he needs enough firewood. But also, like, he's getting tired from all this work, right? So what if you get a shot establishing it? And then what if he had just moved his camera so now you can see his face? So now you can see, oh, I'm exerting energy, right? This is hard. Yeah. And then you get another shot that...
Edgar always makes it look easy.
I know, that's the thing, there's like no tension here.
We know what he's doing is not easy. We told him to make it harder, and he did.
And then what if you got a shot that showed like the sun's getting lower in the sky? You know, like what if we're changing the angle just every 3 to 5 seconds so that you're getting a different perspective? We're getting the progression of the tree, but you're still hearing the of the saw.
For the suspense.
And
he's running out of time to build the shelter because he's going to survive overnight.
And then all of a sudden, snap, you hear the tree start to fall and then it falls. And then, of course, then you have this situation where it doesn't fall over and do something similar there. But I don't know that we're going to be able to recreate that exactly.
Ours will probably go differently. I like this idea, though. I think that really help. So you're thinking we kind of test this out just to show what it might be like?
I totally have one of those little like hand chainsaws.
Nice.
And I think it's time to go test it out.
All right, let's do it.
Field trip. This SD card is totally empty.
On the tree footage?
Yeah, one of the cards, it's just...
Which one?
I have no idea. Just one of the two cameras, it's like it didn't record.
Back to the mountains.
Yeah, I guess we're going back. Shoot.
Maybe we can make it work.
Yeah, that card's totally blank. One of the cameras just, it didn't record. I know we pressed the record button. I heard it beep, I saw that it was recording, but we've had this happen every now and then where for some reason when you end the recording, it doesn't finish writing to the camera. Maybe it's because it was cold outside. I don't know. Fortunately, it was just from the camera that was the wide angle, not the one Julia was holding. So there's a camera that Julia was walking around with and getting lots of different angles. But my worry is that we're not gonna get that shot of the tree falling. That's why I set up that establishing shot camera that was a little further out, was especially to get that clip. And that's the payoff for the whole video. Without that, this isn't gonna be as good. So I just hope that we have enough. I guess we'll see. Okay, I think I got something that turned out pretty dang good. Let's go check it out. Okay, I think we can agree that this clip is an improvement. We showed some suspense. We showed visually that time was running out, the sun's going down, we gotta get this tree down. We showed the exertion of energy, so much stuff that we showed without having to say anything, just through visual cues and maybe some auditory cues as well. But we can do better. You see, because really good storytelling isn't just about having really good suspense, it's about finding the best story in the events that happen and really bringing that story out with the suspense and the challenge and all of that that goes with it. Find the best story. And in our experience cutting down this tree, there's actually a better story than just the one about we're running out of time and we gotta cut down a tree. Check out this clip.
Hopefully I've got this down in no more than 10 minutes.
Don't you think that's a better story for suspense? This thing kept breaking so many times. And instead of it being a 10-minute job, which is literally what I predicted at the beginning of this, it took over 30 minutes to cut down this tree. And I actually looked at the time that it took where I wasn't even cutting, where I was just fiddling with the stupid saw. And that cost me like 25 minutes. It would have taken less than 10 minutes to cut that tree down if my tool had worked properly. That's a good story that would have fit really well into Edgar's video. But here's the thing. He didn't have that problem. He didn't have problems with his saw. His saw worked great. So what's Edgar supposed to do? Well, he could make do with the first version of that clip, right? That was a pretty good story. But Edgar had another really good story that the video showed a little bit and hinted at, but that he totally missed the opportunity for building the suspense. This is something that he could have done.
So now I think I can finally maybe drift off. Yeah, we'll see. I just need to keep an eye on the fire, and I got these 2 logs still to feed, and then, yeah, should carry me through to about 6 in the morning or so. So I'm probably gonna have to go cut some just before daybreak. So unless anything crazy happens, we will see you guys in the morning. Well, no idea what that was. Didn't sound too big. I could definitely hear it walking through the grass though. So might have been a young deer or something. Took off pretty quick. pretty silent. I can't see any eyes glinting out as I look around. So, right as I'm dozing off, that figures. And I'll be awake for a bit. Lovely. About 4 a.m. I definitely need more wood, and it is cold, so I'm gonna start cutting.
See how much more suspense that builds up? I encourage you to go watch Edgar's original video on his channel. It's not a bad video. It's actually an enjoyable video to watch. It's kind of a camp with me, but this was a challenge. The whole premise of the video was a challenge, and Edgar overcame some big hurdles in the making of this video, but you don't feel it, even if sometimes he talks about it. And that's what we want to improve upon here. Find the best stories and amplify the suspense. Not just with your words, but with your emotions and in the editing. You may already think that going into things, you already have a great story. You already know what the best story is going to be, and you go and you get all the footage. Or you may feel like, there's no real story in the thing that I'm trying to portray to my audience. In either case, you're probably going to be wrong. The best stories are often the things that happen to us that were completely unexpected, the challenges that we had to overcome in the moment. And then if you can just amplify those a little bit for the audience, that's where you get a really good story. Your job as a creator, if you want to be a great creator, is to be like a journalist. You've got to find the best story, and then you've got to find a good way to bring that story out. Now, we just finished up a challenge where we helped people level up their storytelling. Join Channel Makers Insiders today to make sure you don't miss out on any of our future challenges, as well as getting free, behind the scenes, and bonus content. You're not gonna get that anywhere else. Like I say, it's totally free. I'll put a link in the comments below. We'll see y'all next time, Channel Makers.